Okay, I want to talk about offerings and Omenana. Um, well, I should say sacrifices, because I saw something that where someone had made a statement that that animal sacrifices have been done away with. That you don't sacrifice animals anymore. You know that's gone. But I want to read something here. Now, first of all, before I read it, all sacrifices aren't animal sacrifices. But there definitely are animal sacrifices, and I'll get a little bit more into that here in a minute. But this is Leviticus 23:19. then then sacrifice one male goat for a sin offering, and two lambs each a year old for a fellowship offering. The priest is to wave the two lambs before the Lord as the wave offering, together with the bread of the first fruits. They are a sacrificed offering to the Lord for the priest. And it says, on the same day you are to proclaim a sacred assembly and to do no regular work. This to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come wherever you live. So we see in the scripture it says that the sacrificing is to be a lasting ordinance wherever you live. So no matter where you are, this is something that is supposed to last. Now, the thing that I find really funny is that somebody would say that, well, sacrificing animals have been done away with. Now, granted, you see a lot of things in people practicing Odenana rather than Omenana. And when you start talking about Odenana, you start talking about a lot of things that people have made its way in among Igbos from other outside cultures and have perverted the traditional, original Omenana. And if people were more connected, and I'm going to get into the ancestors at a later date, but if people were more connected to the elders and more focused on the ancestors and what the ancestors did, a lot of this stuff would have never got in. Because first of all, the thought process ought to be generational, not just focused on what's happening now. You need to be focused on what has happened for generation to generation, because we even can see in the scriptures where it talks about that things are to be held from generation to generation. This is when you start connecting back to the ancestors, but that's coming later. But for now, we want to talk about these sacrifices. Now, I have no issue when someone says, okay, well, we're not doing animal sacrifices, that's done away with. I have no issue with someone saying that. But the person that's saying that needs to be a vegan, or at least a vegetarian. You shouldn't be eating any meat whatsoever. Now, why would I say that? Because any meat you eat, somebody sacrificed it. It got slaughtered. That meat you eat was slaughtered. It was sacrificed. Now, the issue is that we know that sacrificing still takes place. If you eat meat, you are a party to a sacrifice. The difference is you're eating your portion, but you're not giving Chukwu his portion. Only you're eating everything. You have not offered him his. So it's not that sacrificing is not happening anymore. It's just that you've taken it upon yourself to eat it all and not to offer any to him. So we need to get back to what was being done with our ancestors. We need to get back to sacrificing, which is already being done, but making sure we give him his portion. That is the key. That is why we had the altars and different things that were built, for the purpose of offering these sacrifices and giving him his portion. So next time someone says, well, we don't do that anymore, ask them, are they a vegetarian or a vegan? If they're a vegetarian or a vegan, we can let that slide. But if you're a meat eater, you're a part of the sacrifices. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself that you're okay with sacrificing, but not okay with Chukwu getting his portion. So if you're going to be a meat eater, don't forget the one that created the meat that you eat, giving Chukwu his portion. So yes, animal sacrifices still have existed, still exist, and will continue to exist as long as there are people that eat meat. So if you're going to be a party to being meat eaters, be a party to offering the sacrifice that gives Chukwu his portion. That's all I have this time. Until next time.